Hello, I am Dr. Shantaram Kani, and we are now going to talk about the fourth module of the second set under ketonic super extracts for all. This is about the concept of home centers. But before that, let us understand a few points. This part 2 of the presentation is a story of my own explorations, compiling the experience of myself and a few volunteers. The compilation of these experiences and the opinions and analysis contained in this part do not constitute medical advice and should not be construed as such. By using this presentation, you understand that the information contained in it is not intended to provide medical advice, but is intended to empower the reader to make his or her own explorations and then make his or her own decisions about using the information and own findings. Use of this presentation does not create a doctor-patient relationship, and before undertaking any actions discussed in this presentation, the reader should consult his own physician or healthcare provider. The method of making super extracts described in this part 2 and the list of numerous combinations contained in this presentation is not a recommendation, but is an account of how the author has prepared such extracts and their combinations. The author of this presentation is not a medical doctor and does not dispense medical advice or prescribe the use of any techniques as a form of treatment for physical, emotional or medical problems. The reader should not commence any new medical treatment without the advice of a physician or healthcare provider. The author and this presentation do not prescribe or offer solutions for use in crop or veterinary applications. The intent of the author and this book is only to offer information of a general nature to help motivate your own quest for well-being. The reader has a constitutional right to use this information. However, the reader must use his or her own discretion and should consult a healthcare provider or any other relevant competent authority first and assume total responsibility for the use of information in this presentation. The author and presenter assume no responsibility for any actions of the reader. We now come to the fourth module of this part 2, ketonic super extracts for all. So far we have discussed how to make them, how to select them, and how they can be used in crop science and veterinary science. Now, the purpose of communicating all this information is to encourage you to create your own home center. In other words, to encourage you to start making these yourself at home, so that this affordable option available to you at your doorstep. So, what is in this module under concept of home centers? How would you go about selecting super extracts and dosage? How you will integrate with Sujok diet and lifestyle, and how can you benefit from today and tomorrow for resolution of day-to-day problems at an early stage and solutions for long-term health maintenance. So, let us begin. This concept of a home center for all day-to-day health issues similar to the old idea of grandma's pouch. In our younger days, the grandmas used to have a pouch which had all kinds of herbs and other things, and for any simple problem that was used for immediate attention. Consider what I am going to propose now as a 21st century version, and you will get equivalent of grandma's pouch or better if you make, let us say, about 20 different super extracts. Now, of course, you will say that is too much work, but there is a simple solution. Group effort can help reduce the burden. If 4 like-minded families get together, each makes 5 super extracts and they share, then the amount of effort required for you to make a super extract is reduced. And remember, making one super extract is just boiling something for 1 hour. So, it is not like 5 super extracts will take you 1 month to make. And the shelf life is so long that once you make this 15, they will last quite a while, at least a couple of years. And you may be able to cover respiratory, digestive problems, cuts, bruises, pain, allergies, microcirculation and general health. And as I said, each 500 ml sesame oil based super extract if you standardize to 500 ml, you need not make a larger batch. It requires a maximum of 1 hour of cooking and the shelf life is at least 5 years. Easy to use, portable and extremely low cost. You do not have to be a great economist to realize that and can be used orally, topically on sujok chakra points and also as natsya. And in addition, you have to follow the dietary guidelines about proteins, carbohydrates, inflammatory foods and a distributed diet. So, once again let us go through what facilities are needed. You need a weighing scale, digital scale with 1 gram accuracy with a 1 kg maximum range, a blender to chop herbs in water, a 3-liter stainless steel pot for cooking with a flat bladed stainless steel stirrer, a gas cooking range because you want to control the rate of heating so as not to cause very rapid bubbling and so on, a 6-inch diameter strainer with filter cloth, a plastic funnel, a few 200 ml bottles for storing diluted extracts, 30 ml and 7.5 ml plastic bottles such as these for with a nozzle insert for storing and dispensing oils, a stainless steel pourer with a sharp beak to fill extract into these bottles because the opening is not very wide and you will need a pointed something to pour the bottle. And of course, above all a notebook for documentation, because even when you make these at home, it would be a very good idea for you to start documenting what you used and what happened, because that is the only way through curiosity driven exploration on your own with documentation that you are going to discover an amazing array of new findings. Now, so how do you select? Do I go and right away make 20, and even if so, how, which 20? So, I have given here some idea or at least one set of suggestion. It does not mean you have to stick to it. You can select whichever takes your fancy, but here is one option. For example, in the first phase you select a few herbs, for example onion, ginger, garlic, turmeric, mool which is leaves of drumstick, pomegranate fruit, osmum, brahmi, and if you are in USA instead of brahmi use ginkgo biloba, gulwel, parnabij and hardzor. That is a good list and that list will take you far. In phase 2 you can start making a mixture of herbs, extracts from a mixture of herbs such as para, very important for stomach upsets, trikatu, again very strong digestive and important in case you have phlegm, triphala, we all know about triphala, but you do not know all the possible applications of triphala because we often associate triphala only with constipation. It is far from the truth. Stab, neuro for promoting nerve signaling, then sciatica as the name suggests for sciatic pain, and liver for activating the liver. Now, once you have mastered making these super extracts, then I suggest you go to extracts from metals and minerals such as silver and gold, and maybe you just need 300 milligram of hirakabhasma. That will last you for several years. You may not have to buy again in your lifetime. Why I say that to be taken up in the third phase? Because making extracts from metals and from bhasma is little more tricky. You have to be a lot more careful in making those extracts. The precautions are explained in detail in my book, and again what I want to say is that you have to stir vigorously to detach bubbles when they are small, to make sure that a large bubble does not form, because that otherwise when it bursts will splash oil all over the place. And then you have to adjust the dosage as discussed in 2.2, that is the second module of this set. And the dose has to be customized by you for your own case. Again, when I explain to you how to use extracts for day to day use, I have explained that point. that you can have a number of options, and you have to keep in mind the principle of hormesis, that for any extract it looks like it is too ushna or too hot. It simply means, I mean, it is a good thing that it is active. So, all you have to do is to reduce the dose, and from the so called side effect, negative side effect, it will go on the positive side. That much is certain. It just does not remain negative when you reduce the dose, it becomes positive, it does not become 0. And documentation is absolutely essential. So, again you need to create a simple notebook for upsets that occur time to time. You have to create a simple notebook for each member of the family, maybe an Excel file for data entry, and update whenever you get new results. And you develop a format, or I can give you a format, so that you enter these things along with the lab results in a single format available to you to look at a glance. Such records are essential to identify food lifestyle triggers, and also to identify what extract does what to you and what is the correct dosage for you, because as I said, this requires some customization. Again, what I want to emphasize is the whole idea is that you download from the volume 2 on Kindle, understand what is home center, understand how to select super extracts dosage, understand how to make standard preparations and establish quality control, and explore and evolve more options for new applications. Again and again, I want to emphasize, exploring to develop new options is as integral part of this whole thing as anything else. And later on, when we discuss case studies, I will explain to you how, by combining experiences of various people, we continue to get many new interesting ideas and interesting applications. This is most important. So, this presentation is the 4th in this series, and what comes ahead is a presentation on the concept of socially sustainable clinics, and then identifying leads with case studies. Thank you.